having to talk about underage drinking can be tough one for parents.
That's right. And so joining us now to give us some advice about this is Martin Calder. Thank you so much for coming in, Marty. They're recommending age 9 to start having this conversation. Is that too young, or is that not young enough?
Or is that our new reality?
Yeah.
I'd say it's your new reality, and a little bit of everything that's going to happen with parenting is that conversation, is that communication with your children. And I think this is just one of those other aspects where you've got to establish that kind of relationship. Because what you're really doing is building those ties so that when they are tempted by those kind of things, or they are presented to those things, they will come to you and tell you what's going on.
So with our, let's say with our 9-year-olds, what should be the conversation?
One of the things that's the hardest thing with alcohol, without getting into people's own lifestyles, it's really tough to have this, oh, you don't want to drink alcohol if mom and dad are inebriated every night, you know. Now that's a little different than having some wine with dinner, having some beer, you know, as part of your lifestyle. But at the same time, if you're engaging in a pretty risky lifestyle with alcohol, that's a tough one with kids. And so the conversation needs to be that things are going to happen, that they're going to see things in school, and that you want to have that trust relationship, that you want them to come to you with questions, concerns, things that they may have seen or even maybe partaken of. You know, what happens is kids have things happen at friends, or, you know, so they see something out and they experiment a little bit. And it can't be a blame thing or a shame thing with anything. Alcohol is one, you know, sexual education, mental health, all those things are kind of that same mantra.
Now, we're hearing now we need to start talking to our kids about sex earlier. We need to talk to them about underage drinking earlier. I'm guessing it's not just one conversation we're having about these kinds of topics, though.
No, I think, you know, if you go with the whole one conversation thing, it's too late.
I'm glad we had this talk. We're done.
You're done. You're probably done with whatever else is going to happen there. Yeah, you want to have that kind of conversation. And parents, it doesn't have to be like, come in here and sit in this formal thing and tell me everything that's happened with your kids. I know that one kid is doing this thing. No, it's got to, you know, you're out fishing, you're out doing something, you're in the car for 15 minutes. Hey, how's it going? How's school going? Anything that's bothering you? I know there's some things, there's been some talk about this or that. As I've said before, you know, being involved in what your kids are doing. Is that Facebook? Is that game stuff? You know, Matt and I were talking about before, he's a gamer. That's awesome. What a great time to be able to kind of play a game with this kid and say, how's it going? What's happening? You know, and they're getting much more likely to open up and talk about it than if it's like, all right, here's the talk, and you and my mom, your mother and I are really disappointed or really concerned. Yeah, like I said, you've lost before you've ever begun.
So rather than on their 9th birthday after you cut the cake, you sit them down and have the talk.
That's right. You've been drinking some?
Yeah, that punch might be a little spiked. You know, does it also depend on their maturity level too? Yeah,
for sure. I mean, you have some 9-year-olds that are just, you know, they're oblivious to stuff. And then you've had others that are pretty savvy and pretty aware of things. You know, one of the great things is, you know, I like television, but, you know, with a lot of, there's a lot of beer and alcohol commercials on TV. Some of them are hilarious. And that might be a way to begin that, you know.
Approach the subject.
Exactly.
If anybody has any questions about maybe how they can talk about this, can they contact you?
Oh, for sure. You can get a hold of me at my company at 237-1711. We also have a Facebook page, Center Counseling Services, so you can always ask a question on there. I'm the one that is administrator, so I'll answer back.
Very good. Martin Calder, thank you.
Thank you so much.